What imprisons us is not our circumstances, but the thoughts we choose to nurture. Marcus Aurelius, philosopher and Roman emperor. How do you deal with pain and suffering? Do you reveal them, hide them, or transform them? The truth is, not everyone wants to see you overcome your struggles. Some feed off your weakness, while others take pleasure in watching you go through hardships. And if you give them that power, you might end up becoming a prisoner of your own suffering. Revealing your pain can sometimes bring more harm than healing. We live in a world where vulnerability can be exploited without mercy, where even those closest to you might become spectators of your downfall rather than allies in your rebuilding. But what if there were another way? What if, instead of being crushed by adversity, you could use it as fuel for something greater? History is filled with men who found their greatest strength in pain, and what they discovered could change your life. Within you lies a great hidden power waiting to be awakened. It's not about ignoring pain, but shaping it, transforming it into something unshakable. In this video, you'll discover 10 profound and historical principles from Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, whose ideas helped build empires and strengthened minds in the face of life's greatest storms. But pay close attention. Among these principles, there are 4 that only the strongest minds in this world know. Principles that hold the key to freeing you from any emotional or psychological suffering that still traps you. And by the end of this video, you will know them. So if you want to learn how to take control of your own mind, shield your emotions, and use any pain to your advantage, stay with me until the end. Because what I'm about to reveal could forever change the way you see life. Before we continue, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any valuable videos like this one. Now, let's begin this journey of transformation. Principle 1. Eliminate the fear of others' opinions. The fear of others' opinions is an invisible prison that robs you of your freedom and self-confidence. How many times have you held back from doing something out of fear of what others might think? This constant worry paralyzes your dreams and keeps you hostage to others' expectations. Epictetus once said, "If you want to be unshakable, stop worrying about what is beyond your control." And do you know what is completely beyond your control? How others see you. Imagine an artist painting a masterpiece, but instead of trusting his own talent, he becomes obsessed with the audience's opinions. If he receives applause, he feels good. If he gets criticized, he crumbles inside. But a true master doesn't seek approval. He simply creates. That's how you should be. Act, build, move forward, without asking for permission. Because in the end, people will always talk, but you are the one who decides how much their words affect your life. The Stoics teach that we should focus on what we can control, our actions, our thoughts, and our growth. If someone unfairly criticizes you, that says more about them than it does about you. Others' opinions are like echoes in the wind. They come and go but cannot define who you are. When you accept this truth, a huge burden lifts and freedom begins to emerge. Here's a simple but powerful action. Spend an entire day without seeking external validation. If you need to make a decision, make it without consulting anyone. If you want to express something, say it without waiting for approval. Little by little, you'll realize that you don't need anyone's permission to be who you truly are. And when that happens, your confidence will grow unshakably. Now, think. For a moment, how many opportunities have you missed out on due to fear of judgment? And more importantly, what would happen if you eliminated that fear from your life today? If this resonated with you, wait until you discover the next principle. It might be the turning point between staying stuck or finally taking control of your destiny. Principle: to eliminate the need for absolute control. Many people live in a constant state of frustration because they try to control everything and everyone around them. But the truth is, life is unpredictable and beyond our total control. Epictetus teaches that we must differentiate between what we can control and what we cannot. When you try to hold the reins of everything, you end up exhausted and frustrated. True power lies in accepting life's flow and focusing only on what is within your reach. Imagine someone driving in a heavy storm. He can control the speed of the car, but he cannot control the intensity of the rain. If he panics trying to stop the storm, he will only make things worse. Life is the same. You must learn to navigate through any condition instead of trying to change the weather. The secret is to develop resilience and adapt to situations without fighting the inevitable. This doesn't mean being passive or accepting everything without question. On the contrary, it means channeling your energy into what truly matters. You cannot change the past, but you can learn from it. You cannot force someone to like you, but you can improve yourself. When you realize this, a huge emotional burden disappears, and you start living with greater ease and inner peace. To apply this principle, start by observing your own behavior. How many times a day do you try to control situations or people without success? Next time you feel this urge, take a deep breath and ask yourself, is this within my control or not? If the answer is no, let go of the anxiety and move on. Life becomes much lighter when you learn to trust the process, but there is something even more powerful than accepting the lack of control. The next principle will completely change how you see life and free you from one of the biggest saboteurs of your personal growth. You can't afford to miss this. Principle 3. Eliminate self-sabotage. Many times, the greatest enemy of your progress isn't the outside world, it's you. Self-sabotage happens when, consciously or unconsciously, you place barriers between yourself and your goals. This can manifest in many ways: procrastination, excessive self-criticism, fear of failure, or even the belief that you don't deserve success. But the truth is, the only thing truly holding you back is the story you tell yourself. Think of someone who dreams of starting a business but always finds an excuse to postpone it. He says he doesn't have enough money, needs more experience, or that it's just not the right time. Deep down, the problem isn't those justifications. It's the fear of failure and doubt about his own abilities. Stoicism teaches us to challenge our thoughts and take action, even in the face of uncertainty. The mistake isn't the problem. Inaction. Self-sabotage often comes from that inner voice telling you that you're not good enough. But that voice isn't really yours. It was planted throughout your life by negative experiences and external criticism. You weren't born feeling capable. You were taught to feel that way, and everything that was learned can be unlearned. The Stoics teach that we must govern our minds, not be governed by them. One effective way to eliminate self-sabotage is to become aware of your behavioral patterns. The next time you hesitate before making an important decision, ask yourself, is this a real fear or just a habit of self-sabotage? More often than not, when we question our own limiting beliefs, we realize they have no foundation. And when that happens, we take a huge step toward true freedom. But there is an even deeper element that might be holding you back from evolving. Something silent yet extremely dangerous, acting like an invisible poison in your life. The next principle, you will understand what it is and how to rid yourself of it once and for all. Principle 4. Eliminate negative energy. Around you, your thoughts and emotions are strongly influenced by the environment you're in. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity, you'll inevitably start absorbing it. Toxic people, alarming news, destructive criticism, these all act like an invisible current pulling you down. The Stoics believed we must wisely choose what we allow into our minds, as it shapes our state of being and our destiny. Think of a plant growing in contaminated soil. No matter how much it tries to thrive, its roots will continue absorbing poison. The same happens to you. If you're surrounded by negativity, it will be difficult to prosper. This doesn't mean you need to cut everyone out of your life, but rather that you should learn to filter what truly deserves your attention and energy. Negativity can come from many sources. A friend who constantly complains, an oppressive work, environment, or even your own self-destructive thoughts. The Stoic solution to this is simple yet powerful. Become an observer of your own life. Objectively analyze what negatively affects you and set boundaries. Do not accept carrying burdens that aren't yours. A practical action to apply this principle is doing a mental detox. Spend an entire day without consuming negative news, without complaining, and without engaging in toxic conversations. At the end of the day, notice how much lighter your mind feels. Now imagine how your life could change if you made this a daily habit. Your peace of mind is worth more than any external drama. And speaking of habits, the next principle could be the decisive factor between staying stuck in a cycle of dissatisfaction or finally gaining total control over your life. What you're about to discover might transform your destiny forever. Principle 5. Eliminate dependence on others' opinions. One of the greatest prisons in existence is the need for external approval. Many people live to please others, shaping their choices based on what will be accepted and well received. The Stoics, however, teach us to focus on what truly matters, our own principles and values. If you live in fear of judgment, you will never be truly free. Your happiness cannot depend on others' expectations. Imagine an artist who refuses to showcase his work out of fear of criticism. He spends his entire life hiding his talent, missing opportunities and feeling frustrated. But the truth is, no matter what you do, there will always be someone to criticize. If even the greatest geniuses in history were questioned, why should you be an exception? Accepting that it's impossible to please everyone is the first step toward true liberation. The need for external validation often stems from insecurity. If you lack confidence in yourself, you will seek confirmation from others that you are on the right path. But this dependence is dangerous, as it places your self-esteem in the hands of others. Stoicism teaches that we should seek approval only from our own conscience. If you know you are acting correctly, that is enough. One way to eliminate this dependency is to practice detachment from external opinions. When receiving criticism, ask yourself, is this a reflection of reality or just this person's perspective? More often than not, others' judgments say more about them than about you. Don't let negative comments dictate your destiny. Learn to listen without absorbing, and you will see how much lighter your life becomes. But there is an even more dangerous enemy than the opinions of others, something that can completely paralyze you and prevent you from achieving any goal. In the next principle, you will learn how to eliminate it once and for all. Principle 6. Eliminate the fear of failure. The fear of failure is one of the main reasons why people give up before they even start. They worry so much about the possibility of making mistakes that they would rather not try at all. But what the Stoics teach us is simple. Failure is not the end. It is a powerful teacher. Every mistake carries a lesson that can make you stronger and wiser. The only true failure is giving up. Think of a warrior who never trained because he was afraid of losing a battle. He will never become a great fighter because experience comes from practice, not theory. Similarly, success in any area requires trial and error. Great leaders, inventors, and artists failed countless times before achieving success. The difference between them and those who never make it is persistence. The fear of failure comes from the desire for perfection. We want to get it right on the first try without making mistakes, but that is impossible. The Stoics teach us to accept failure as part of the journey. If something doesn't go as expected, adapt, learn, and try again. The real problem is not failing, but giving up at the first obstacle. An effective way to eliminate this fear is to change your perspective on it. Instead of seeing failure as defeat, see it as a stepping stone to growth. Every experience, even a negative one, brings something valuable. If you can view every mistake as a lesson, you will never feel truly defeated. This will give you the courage to keep moving forward, no matter the difficulties. But there is something even more destructive than the fear of failure. Something silent, lurking in the shadows, capable of destroying your peace of mind before you even realize it. In the next principle, you will discover what it is and how to rid yourself of this poison before it's too late. Principle 7. Eliminate anger and resentment. Anger and resentment are emotions that corrode your mind and destroy your peace. Holding a grudge is like holding a burning coal, expecting to hurt someone else. In the end, you are the one who gets burned. The Stoics taught that anger arises when we try to impose our expectations on reality. If something doesn't happen as we wish, we become frustrated. But is it really worth losing our composure over something we cannot change? Think of a man who spent years hating someone who wronged him. He believed that his hatred made him stronger, but in reality, it only kept him trapped in the past. When he finally decided to forgive, it wasn't for the other person but for himself. He realized that as long as he held on to resentment, he was the one suffering. Stoicism teaches that forgiveness is not a favor to someone else but a personal liberation. Anger can also arise from small things in daily life. Someone cuts you off in traffic, says something that annoys you, or acts unfairly. But before reacting impulsively, ask yourself, does this really deserve my energy? The Stoics teach that we should choose our battles wisely. Not everything deserves an emotional response. Often the best thing to do is simply ignore it. A powerful technique to eliminate anger is to practice the perspective of time. Ask yourself, will this still matter a year from now? If the answer is no, then it's not worth losing your peace over it now. Life is too short to waste on resentment. Your energy should be directed toward what truly matters, your growth and happiness. But there is one final principle that can completely transform your life. If you apply this last lesson, you will have total control over your mind and your destiny. In the next and final principle, you will discover the Stoics' ultimate secret to a full and unshakable life. Are you ready? Principle 8. Eliminate worry about the future. Many people live trapped in a constant fear of what might happen tomorrow. They worry about things that haven't even happened yet, wasting energy on scenarios that may never come true. The Stoics taught that the future is beyond our control. The only moment we can act on is now. Excessive worry about the future is a waste of the opportunity to fully live in the present. Imagine someone losing sleep over whether they will succeed at work, or if their relationship will last. This constant worry improves nothing. It only creates anxiety. Stoicism teaches that we must focus on what we can control. If something is in your hands, take action. If it isn't, accept it and move forward, because worrying will not change the outcome. An effective strategy to eliminate this worry is the Stoic concept of premeditation of evil. They would visualize the worst possible scenarios and accept their consequences. That way, when something bad happened, they were already mentally prepared. This doesn't mean being pessimistic, but rather realistic and resilient. Being ready for anything makes you unshakable in the face of the unexpected. Another way to overcome anxiety about the future is to develop confidence in your ability to adapt. No challenge is insurmountable if you are prepared to learn and adjust. Instead of fearing what might happen, trust that you will know how to handle any situation. Life will never be entirely predictable, but your inner strength can be. The more you develop this mindset, the calmer you will become. But there is an even bigger problem than worrying about the future: being stuck in the past. In the next principle, you will discover why dwelling on past mistakes might be sabotaging your life, and how to free yourself from this prison once and for all. Principle 9. Eliminate the prison of the past. Many people are haunted by memories of mistakes, regrets, and past wounds. They remain trapped in what has already happened, reliving painful moments and punishing themselves for decisions they can no longer change. The Stoics taught that the past should serve only as a lesson, never as a burden. What has already happened cannot be altered. We can only change how we respond to it. Accepting this truth is essential for moving forward. Think of someone who made a serious mistake in the past and never managed to forgive themselves. This person feels paralyzed, believing they can never start over. But Stoicism teaches us that every mistake contains a lesson. If you have learned from your failures, then they were not in vain. The real problem is not the mistake itself, but the refusal to move on. An effective way to eliminate this mental prison is to practice the concept of amor fati, which means love of fate. The Stoics believed that everything that happens, good or bad, is part of our path. Instead of lamenting the past, we must accept it and find purpose in it. Every experience shapes who we are, and even difficult moments have value. You cannot change what has happened, but you can decide how to use it for growth. Another powerful technique is to stop identifying with your old story. What happened does not define who you are today. You are a new person every day, with new opportunities to act differently. Holding on to the past prevents your own growth. Free yourself from that burden, and you will see how much lighter and fuller your life becomes. But there is something even more powerful than letting go of the past, discovering the key to true mental freedom. In the next principle, you will learn the final secret that the Stoics use to maintain peace in any situation, and that can completely transform your life. Principle 10. Eliminate the illusion of total control. Many people believe they can control everything around them. They try to manipulate situations, change people, and ensure that everything goes according to their plans. But this is a dangerous illusion because the world doesn't work that way. The Stoics teach us that the only thing we can truly control is our own mind. Everything else is beyond our reach and must be accepted as it is. Imagine someone who meticulously plans every detail of their life, expecting everything to go perfectly. When things don't go as expected, they become frustrated, angry, and desperate. But Stoicism teaches that life is unpredictable. If we try to fight against this reality, we will only find suffering. The secret lies in accepting what cannot be changed and adapting to whatever comes. One of the most powerful techniques taught by the Stoics is the concept of the dichotomy of control. It teaches us to separate what is within our power from what is not. If you can take action on something, do it. If you cannot, accept it and move on. This simple distinction can eliminate much of the anxiety and stress in your life. Another way to apply this principle is to remember the impermanence of things. Everything changes, and nothing lasts forever, not problems nor joys. When you understand this, you stop suffering over what you cannot control. Instead of trying to force outcomes, you learn to flow with life. And it is precisely this mindset that makes a person truly free. Now that you know these 10 Stoic principles, a crucial question arises. How can you apply them in your daily life to truly transform yourself? In the next content, you will learn practical strategies to make this philosophy a part of your routine and never again be a prisoner of emotional chaos. You can't miss this final revelation. Now, imagine yourself 5 years from now. You're still reacting impulsively to situations, carrying the anxiety of the future and the weight of a past you can no longer change. You still worry about things you can't control, trying to please everyone while feeling increasingly suffocated. The days pass, and you realize you're stuck in the same cycle of frustrations. No growth, no peace. How would you feel? The anguish of looking back and seeing that nothing has changed. But the worst part isn't that. The worst part is realizing that you could have done something but chose not to act. Now that you've reflected on this, here's a practical piece of advice. Start small. Choose a single negative thought, a destructive habit, or a useless worry, and decide to eliminate it today. It could be avoiding complaints, replacing doubt with action, or simply reminding yourself that you don't control everything. Small daily changes create lasting transformation. The key is to act now. And what about you? Have you identified something in your life that needs to be eliminated? Which of these changes will you tackle first? Leave a comment and share your experience. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to find the courage to change. As well, if this video made you reflect or inspired you to take action, leave a like so more people can find this content. And if you're not yet part of our community, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss upcoming videos. Here you'll always find practical wisdom to transform your life. See you in the next video.